appreciation for everything that was given to us by those interred here, and for everything that it cost. We stand together and forever in gratitude for the sacrifice of our men and women who gave their lives for our freedom and our country. God bless you. God bless America.
And by Thursday, Governor, please come and share us on the
Aloha. Aloha. Before I get started with my formal remarks, I want to thank the mayor for allowing me this honor to participate and speak a few words this morning. You know, my mother just joined my father, and both are now interred here at Punchbowl. So this truly is a special occasion. Thank you. On this Memorial Day, I ask all of you to join me in honoring the men and women whose lives were cut short by war, and take a moment to express our gratitude to their families and all the members of the armed services. These great men and women help shape our country, our economy, and our culture. Since the state of Hawaii and the United States, it is because of their sacrifice that we enjoy the freedom and democracy today. And while Memorial Day serves as a day to remember and honor those who sacrifice for their country, let us also take a moment to honor the members of our armed services, the men and women who choose to volunteer, defend our Constitution and our nation. We also want to acknowledge doctors, nurses, and all the health professionals for battling the health of the nation during this COVID pandemic. Let us pledge to never forget the sacrifice and service of our valiant men and women in the military, our first responders, and the families. Mahalo and aloha.
Now, our military keynote speaker has vast experiences. Over the years, General Charles A. Flynn, Commander U.S. Army Pacific, has served in a variety of command, staff, and leadership positions. Most recently was the Deputy Chief of Staff for Army Operations, Plans, and Training at the Pentagon. He deployed to Iraq in support of OIF as the commander of the 1st Brigade Combat Team, 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And last year, General Flynn assumed command of the United States Army's largest service component command, U.S. Army Pacific, known as SARCOM. Please welcome General Charles Flynn.
Thank you for asking me this morning. I appreciate it. Senator Rono, shots, thank Justs, members of the military, Gold Star families, veterans, friends, and the large ohana that represents us all here. Honolulu for gathering on this solemn and special day. Memorial Day is a day when we honor the men and women who died serving our nation. And you know it's the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific is a sacred place. More than 60,000 brave Americans are buried, sacrificing their lives for their country, their units, and their comrades. I am grateful to share this morning with you. I'm humbled to stand on Hawaiʻi Hill Sacrifice. It's an appropriate name for such hallowed ground. we're reminded that freedom, democracy, and American ideals, and always have been, secured and safeguarded by the lifeblood of our ancestors. So today, on Memorial Day, we honor and thank them for their courage, their selfless service, and their sacrifice. They were and are the very best of us. In our nation's most challenging times, these men and women step forward to protect us. Let me say that again, to protect us. In the late 1930s and early 40s, both communities, the Hawaiian people and the U.S. military, came together on this hallowed ground in combined sacrifice. They came together to protect one another, to protect freedom. Everything changed on the 7th of December 1941 after the attack on the Hawaiian Islands. Everything except this. Our communities became one. They became committed to caring, protecting each other. We both carried sacred oath, sealed from sacrifices, only witnessed in battle. We became one. And we fought to protect each other from those forces that aimed to do us and our Ohana's harm. Many a story can be told, but when our communities came together, we accomplished greatness. Just like creating tunnels that were dug through the rim of this very crater in order to place shore batteries to protect and guard Honolulu Harbor, and so many other locations across the beautiful 8-island paradise archipelago. I like to imagine that even now, with their timeless presence, these heroes interned here are still protected. Heroes like Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Staff Sergeant Robert Toshi Kuroda. And I have sat on Medal of Honor boards, and I have gone back and read his citation, and I'm just going to present you a small snippet of it. Born in Aiea, 1922, Staff Sergeant Kuroda was a first-generation American born to Japanese immigrants. He volunteered to join the Army in March 1943, and he served in the 442 Regimental Combat Team, the most decorated unit in the United States Army. 18 months later, Staff Sergeant Kuroda was halfway around the world fighting the Germans in France. On October 20th, 1944, he led his men to destroy snipers and machine gun nests. They encountered heavy fire from a dense wooded slope. Disregarding his own safety, Staff Sergeant Kuroda rushed forward. He single-handedly destroyed 2 enemy machine gun nests and killed 6 enemies. He continued to fight to protect others until he was fatally wounded by enemy fire. This extraordinary man, who would have turned 100 years old this November, just 3 days from Veterans. Today, we can find Staff Sergeant Kuroda in Grave 92, Section D. Please visit. Another hero that we honor today, Sergeant Alexander Gagalak. Sergeant Gagalak was born in Wahiawa, 1979, right next to Schofield Barracks on the Railroad Lane. He joined the Army alongside his twin brother in 2002, just after the start of the global war on terror. He knew it was his turn for sacrifice. And he didn't go far from home, the home he loved. Alex was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 27th Regiment at Schofield Barracks, my way. During the second deployment to Iraq, when he was 8 days from returning home, Sergeant Gagalak was killed by a rocket-propelled grenade. Today, we honor his memory. And earlier this month, 3rd Brigade, 25th Infantry Division honored his memory as they dedicated the historical hall of the brigade headquarters to Sergeant Alexander Gagalak. Not long before he was killed in action, Sergeant Gagalak wrote on his blog, writing, "I can't wait to be back home with friends and family. the taste of freedom is going to be sweet. We know that the taste of freedom, because of the selfless sacrifice of soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines like him, is not free. Sergeant Gagalak can be found in Section U, Site 890. The remembrance we offer today doesn't end with service members. There are countless Ohana members here in Punchbowl too. They served alongside their loved ones as spouses, parents, and children, and their noble contributions to our country are intertwined with all who lay in peaceful rest. We praise their enduring legacy of sacrifice. That legacy persists throughout our communities, our state, and our nation. And finally, I can't help but see the beautiful lei that adorn every marker and cross across the cemetery. Their striking beauty are the Hawaiian equivalent of Memorial Day's traditional red poppies and that poem. A wonderful poem, written during World War I on the battlefield by a poet, a surgeon, and a Canadian soldier, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, when he wrote, "In Flanders fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row. They mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard among the guns below, we are the dead, short days ago. We lived, we felt, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours, so hold it high. If ye break faith with us who died, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields." Friends, let's not break faith this Memorial Day. Instead, let us honor their sacrifice. Thank you for being here. God bless you all. God bless this nation and those who died defending us and protecting us. In God we trust. This will More than I can be, I can. Praise me, more than I can be.
Message or reclamation, not just paper. Now, at this time, in preparation of the wreath presentations, we ask those who will be presenting wreaths to make their way over to the Now, Mayor's keynote speaker has been first on the resume. Suzanne Juanani-Barca, the first native Hawaiian, who served as the president. President Barca is a former Major General in the United States Army and was retired from the Army National Guard after 34 years in service. Among other things, Barca was recently served 5 years in vice president senior official at the U.S. Without further ado, please welcome Suzanne, our alum, president of the
Hello, my couple. A warm greeting to everyone here. Elie Wiesel, Nobel laureate and Holocaust survivor, wrote, "Without memory, there is no culture. Without memory, there would be no civilization, no society, no future. Today, we Hawaii's community, our culture, our society, commit to preserving the memory of men and women of extraordinary character, courage, and bravery that we heard from General Flynn. Governor and Mrs. DA, First Lady, Mayor Blanchiardi, Karen Chang, Senator Rono, Senator Schatz, Lieutenant Governor, Undersecretary Quinn, General Flynn, and Mrs. Flynn, all of our distinguished guests here today, family and friends, veterans, and of course, our Gold Star families. We are so honored to have you here today with us, and I'm humbled to be here remembering our fallen. I'm keenly aware that each of us has
I
our
wanted
own
to show you a
story.
little bit around the
Someone
area
who placed
during
their
the
life on
ceremony.
altar
After
of
the
freedom.
ceremony, I'll show you some more things.
Frankly, I
But,
think it is
we'll
our
go up to
duty
the front.
to share these stories so we never forget and are reminded of the gift of life. As you greeted one another today and sat down like me, you probably feel the weight of the challenges facing our community, our nation, and our world. We're gathered here today at this special place, surrounded by the mana, or that spiritual force of the unsung heroes. And I ask you to take a moment and reflect and remember and listen. Hear the silent whispers of our fallen comrades. What would those voices of our fallen say to us? Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen gathered in this hallowed place from World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, and other conflicts. All of the voices of the unknown warriors. There are countless untold stories beneath every name, carved on every gravestone, living in souls and behind the eyes of every person here. One such story rests in peace forever at Fort 9, Wall G, Row 100, Site 120. This niche, no matter what day I've gone to visit, has always been adorned with fresh flowers. This ever-present expression of aloha is for a Hawaii-born local boy's life that was cut all too short. This life over before turning 21 years old. We served together in Balad, Iraq during Operation Freedom Free. Whereas a senior intelligence officer of the 29th Infantry Brigade, I sought volunteers for a joint task force of human intelligence collectors. It was a dangerous and thankless mission, yet Sergeant Jason Pariaga,
This is the Royal Hawaiian Band.
stepped forward fully aware of the dangers. He frequently entered small villages, like traveling on roads often littered with improvised explosive devices or roadside bombs. Sergeant Pariaga's service aided in collecting much needed intelligence, resulting in countless lives saved, and the uncovering of hidden cells, fire orders, and documents for the
That's the police force, Honolulu Police Force. There's a lot of other nations military here I see, but I don't really know what all they represent, which ones. There's quite a few Asian countries here, and they're dressed in uniforms, but I'm not sure what nations they are. You can see the flag. Everyone has a wreath, a lei around it. This one died in World War II. Massachusetts. Of course, these would be some of the first people buried here. These are all World War II.
Never in the field of human conflict with so much owed by so many, so few. Those who stand across the board many of them here. Indeed, some of Hawaii's heroes, like our late Senator Candace Illinois, Senator Clark Makataga,
Should be Medal of Honor winner.
they understood
So,
like any of you, was born out of misunderstanding, lack of connection, communication, must be committed to a place.
you know, one good thing that's about the freedom of America is people can have their own viewpoints here. And, you know, I don't really think it's the greatest thing to be doing this, but he has a right to do this, and people can agree or not. But there's a guy here who's protesting about, don't know what he's protesting, suicide among soldiers. And he has a right to do that.
Are committed to investing in building bridges across the Indo-Pacific and the world. Today, as we remember, I hope we will commit to being inspired by the voices that urge us to malama, or take care of one another, our communities, and forgive, serve, and live a life of honor, integrity, and personal courage under all circumstances.
I'm very interested to see what countries are laying wreaths here, because when I was here in 2019, Communist China was not here. Taiwan was here. I found that very interesting.
Stories so that we may never forget. Honor the memory of those who bravely and faithfully.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab my seat here. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to my seat. Thank you.
Mahalo Keapua. Bless the brave men and women of our armed forces, past and present, who come from every gender, race, ethnicity, class, faith, and background to defend our nation and our values. May Akua bless the state of Hawaii and our great nation. Malama pono te. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Personal and meaningful memories. Now, when this Memorial Day ceremony began in 1948, a promise was made that every grave site would be adorned with a fresh flower lei and an American flag, a symbolic way to say thank you and we're not forgotten. Look around you and you can see this commitment continues till today, and we thank everyone who helped sow a lei for Memorial Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin the wreath presentations. Immediately following the wreath presentation, there will be a 3-gun volley rifle salute, taps, and a jet flyover by the Hawaiʻi Air National Guard.
I'm gonna actually go outside the tent to watch the flyover of the jets, because I saw that in 2019. It was quite amazing. They have jets fly over with one jet missing, signifying the people who died are missing in action. And they'll do a 21 gun salute, I think.
One 100 infantry battalion veterans. War 42nd Veterans Club and Legacy Center. American World War II Orphans Network.
These would be orphans. Their parents died in World War II. They were orphans.
Australian Consulate.
Australian consulate.
Consular Corps of Hawaii. Consulate General of Japan.
In Japan.
Consulate General of the Republic of the Philippines.
It should be Philippines.
Daniel K. Noy, Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies. Korean War Veterans Association, Hawaii Chapter Number 1.
Korean War veterans.
Military Officers Association of Hawaii Aloha Chapter. Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter Number 483. Military Order of Foreign Wars, the Hawaii Commanders. Oahu Veterans Council. Navy League of the United States, Honolulu Council. DC Veterans Legacy. Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum.
Those are Boy Scouts.
Consulate General of the Republic of Korea.
This would be Korea.
Reserve Organization of America. The Salvation Army, Ray and Joan Top for Community Center.
And that's the Salvation Army.
Sons and daughters of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Vocal Growth. Sons and daughters of Pearl Harbor survivors.
Sons and daughters of Pearl Harbor survivors.
Hawaii Society of Sons of the American Revolution.
Well, that's something I could be a member of.
At least I can go forward.
Sons and daughters of the American Revolution.
Special Forces Hawaii. Special Forces Chapter 8, Brotherhood Motorcycle Club. Disabled American Veterans.
It's disabled American veterans, and the ones before that were special forces.
USS Missouri Memorial Association Corporation.
USS Missouri Memorial. That ship fought in World War II and signed the surrender documents in Tokyo on that ship with General
Veterans of Foreign
MacArthur.
Wars, Post 110.
And, you know, the children that are accompanying, whether they're Boy Scouts or ROTC, yeah, that's good. They assist the people.
Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 2875. Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 970. Veterans of foreign wars, post 10276. Veterans of foreign wars, Department of Hawaiʻi. American Legion and Auxiliary, Department of Hawaiʻi. Consulate of New Zealand.
Consulate of New Zealand.
Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 858. Japanese American Veterans Association. Hawaii National Guard Officers and Enlisted Association.
I think that's the end of the laying of the wreaths, but I find it amazing that Taiwan was not here. They came in 2019, and I'm actually going to make a call to the Taiwan office here in Honolulu to ask about that. Okay, the jets will be flying over, so I'm gonna come look at that. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Here they come. Hope you enjoy this. This is a refueler tanker. They're doing that to honor. Now the jets will be coming over very soon. The fighter jets will be coming.
All servicemen and women, America recognizes the for brave servicemen and women of the United
So now they're playing the different songs of the different services, the Marines. And this is the Navy song now. That's the Air Force song. Thank you, Air Force. Let's Air Force. That's the Army. Army. So I heard during the speaker's comments that there were more than 60,000 people buried here. I thought it was like 30,000, 38,000, but I was wrong. 68,000 or something like that. And this is Mongolia. Mongolia's service member right there. It says on this side of his sleeve, Mongolia. I think that's pretty cool. No communist China, no Taiwan. So I'm definitely going to call Taiwan consulate to tell them I was disappointed they weren't here. And I wonder what the reason is. And they have American flags on each gravesite and leaves. So I'll show the different service members here from different countries. These would be ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps. This one would be, not sure where. I'm waiting for the fighter jets to fly over. I can't imagine they're not going to have the fighter jets flying over. Maybe they flew over and I missed them. They're going to do the benediction, which is usually the end of the event. In Hawaiian language.
Our brave men and women of these United States of America who selflessly defend our freedom. And today, as we remember our fallen men, we thank you, Lord, for their faithfulness and their love and commitment to our faith. For greater love hath no man that a man laid down his life. And as we reflect on history, we praise and thank you, Lord, for your love, which you also serve, that we may know true freedom and everlasting life. Lord, bless us. Lord, make your peace. Lord, lift up your countenance and give us peace this day. And as our Lord has taught us to pray, we say, Ekoma koma kori koma, Ehoan kia kori, Ehiki mai ko au, E mala ma ia ko maki maki maki. Ehiki ne ia I mala ma ia maki. E haave mai ia mako te ia la, Ki aina mako no te ia la. E kala mai ho ia mako, I ka mako, ka vehala ana. E mako e kala ne ko e la kala I ka mako. Mai ho oku o ia mako, I ka ho'o wale mai. E ho pa kele no na ia mako. No ka mea, no kia.
now begin the closing ceremonies with the carving of the national colors by Joint Service Color Guard, United States Command, followed by the return of our state colors by the Honolulu Memorial. Color Guard, retire the colors.
John, we'll be in. We'll be in contact with them. So sorry.
The Honolulu Police Department Color Guard. On behalf of Mayor Blangiardi and the State Council of Honolulu, we want to thank you for being here with us, for spending a little time at Hawaiʻi, the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. Remember the many, many, many women who answered our nation's call to be. We are a grateful nation. Mahalo again for being here this morning, and as we leave this place, please take a moment to pause and reflect. Appreciate this place of peace. Aloha and rising.
Thank you. I wanted to say to you, just personally, that I think your brother Michael got it wrong. That's all I'm going to say on that. And I'm a pastor, so I appreciate what you say. You're welcome. So he's the commander of all the forces in the Pacific, even above the commanders of the individual forces. Michael Flynn's brother, his name is Charles Flynn. So I just expressed my viewpoint about that, about his situation with his brother. Well, I'm here for another 5 hours, but I'm just gonna meditate and pray and spend some time going around the different grave sites and also going to the area where I'm going to be buried. So that's it. I'm ready to go home. I wanted to say there was a lot, sir. It was both of them. Good day.
Thank you. Tyler, just want to
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, it was my diamond.
Oh. So, as you can see, it's kind of a chance to get together with people who are senior level commanders. And it's not easy to ever talk to people like that or even just greet them. And they're very involved in their job. And there's a lot of dignitaries here, governor, but there's also a lot of people. But we want to always remember the point of this is to come out and to, to have a reason for being here is to honor, to respect and honor those who have passed on, who fought for our freedom, and our veterans. And this is my second time to be here, and I very much appreciate it, that I'm able to do this. I plan on doing it every time, actually. And take care. that's the plan, you know, is to do it in such a way that, you know, I can respectfully honor these people. And hopefully in the future I'll be here, you know, and that's the plan. Now, it's surprising they didn't have a fighter jet flyover, which they normally do. And that kind of surprised me. They had a tanker flyover, one plane, because they do a missing man formation. And don't ask me why they didn't do that. Be a good question. And then the other thing was, that's a question I'd like to ask the Air Force general. You know, let me ask him because. Let me ask him about that. He probably doesn't know. It's not his area of expertise, but at least we should express our opinion about that. Hey, sir, I have a comment I want to make. 219, there was a missing man formation flyover. This year there wasn't. Do you have any? I didn't see one. Do you have any idea why or why they didn't do that?
I couldn't see what they did.
They just had a refuel or tank to fly over, and that, as far as I could see, that was it. And I thought that was kind of, you know.
That is normally, so we
just
have,
pass that on.
well, we have a real world deployment in the morning.
Okay, I don't mind.
And all the jets are occupied for that.
They fly right over my house. But just keep that in mind. Just as one person, I noticed it.
Always fighters with the missing man, but they are real world deploying.
Okay.
They're not, we didn't have any
No problem. And I'll pray for them. They're going to deploy, so I pray for them and those great people. So thanks a lot for your service too, just like me. Thank you. Take care.
Are you recording me?
Yeah, is that bad? It's in my video.
I wouldn't post the deployment departure.
Ooh. Okay, I'll do my best. Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, please, if you could omit that.
I'll try my best to do that. Sorry
Real
about
world
that.
occupied.
Well, it's a live video, but I'll stop it.
Or wait till post it.
Yeah, I'll just figure out a way. I'll try my best. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have notified you. I'll go ahead and stop it and then delete it because I did the whole ceremony, but that's okay. I don't want to do that. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. Next time we'll be more careful. Okay, next time I'll be more careful. Thank you. They're deploying tomorrow, right? So after tomorrow it should be okay.
Yeah, after tomorrow you can talk.
Got it. Thank you, sir. Uh-oh. Well, that's a bit of a problem. And so I'm going to have to somehow make this video private, and then I'm going to have to make it public tomorrow because apparently there was information that they don't want getting out to the world. So, okay, that's life. You know, I didn't even think about that. Next time I'll think about it a bit more carefully, or I'll notify the people that I'm doing a video, you know. Well, I did the best I could. And I don't think it will make a major difference, to be honest with you, but I have to respect he is a general in the Air Force, so he asked me to do that. Yeah, that's it. So you can stay here for another 4 hours. I'm just going to go around the area a bit and look at the grave sites and have a seat and, you know, drink my coffee. Did I lose my coffee cup? Maybe. I think I lost my coffee cup somewhere. So I have to go find my coffee cup if I can. Hopefully no one steps on it and trips. Yeah. So he said, I asked about, you know, why there were no missing man formation fighter jets, and he gave me a reason for that. So I did the best I could. Let me see if I can find my coffee cup. I think it's gone. So, yeah, they've cleared the chairs up already, so everything is gone. Let's see if I got lots of coffee cups, so that's not a problem, unfortunately. Well, I would have liked to have my coffee cup because I was saving it for later, and now it's gone. Oh well, I did the best I could. That's the best way to phrase it. I can always get another coffee cup. And all right, well, I'm gonna kind of do a little bit with the walk over of the cemetery here, and then I'm gonna do a little bit, get a cup of water. I would imagine they took my cup and they threw it in the garbage. That's what I would do if I found someone's cup. Maybe I'd set it right there, you know, on the side, thinking maybe someone will come back. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. And General Logan. I'm going to go talk to him because I really want to try to involve helping the people. I'm sure we can have better relationships with the people on the west side, and it'd be really easy to do. But, you know, we try our best to do it, right? Hey, I saw you up Barbers Point one day at the PX, you know, the mini PX, driving your pickup.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to say I'm a pastor. I work on the west side with all, you know, local people. There's a lot of things we could easily do to build community relations between the services and the people over there, the Hawaiians, and it'd be really easy to do. So I'd like to have contact with someone about that. You know, I guess contact your office, your aide or something. It'd be easy. And I work with them very closely, so it'd be easy for me to do, you know. Okay, is that all right?
I don't
sure.
have a card, unfortunately.
I'll figure out how to contact you. Just remember Bob.
Bob?
Yeah, Bob Kraft, like Kraft cheese.
Okay.
And pastor. And because I know we can really improve the feeling people have toward the military over there in a very easy way. Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, General Logan. Thank you, ma'am. General, he's the state director, the state director of the military, and so that'd be good. And I'll contact his office and see what we can do. Very cool. So I got a long wait, and my coffee cup is gone. How could it fall and I wouldn't even know it? That's the question, because that's a big cup and it was full of coffee. You know, more important things. There were a lot of nations that were not represented here. Almost all the Pacific Asian nations were not here. I'm like shocked. The only thing in 2019 they were here, the only reason I could come up with is they're feeling the pressure from communist China. And I don't really know, but you know, you have like Guam, you have Palu, you have so many of them, Malaysia, no, not here, Taiwan. So I was like very surprised about that. And hopefully that will be solved in the future. And, you know, I'll do my part to encourage, especially Taiwan, to come here. Very cool. And General Logan was very approachable. You know, he wanted me to contact him directly with his phone number and stuff, but I didn't have a way to really record his number. So I'll go to FedEx, get him some business cards made up. That's kind of a joke, you know. And pretty much that's it. I'm looking around, and I'm going to go out now on the, if you don't mind, I'm going to go out on the graveside area. And, you know, there's so many of them, and you can't really do them all. So, but we'll just take a look and, you know, take a quick look. See what they got here. Oh, I wonder where the generals came from. Interesting. I really appreciate it. I didn't want to go up the steps. It's a long way up those steps right there. Yeah. I did have to go slow. Long way up those steps. I'm curious what nation this is, because it looks like China. I'm going to ask him what nation he is, because if it's a star, I'm going to be like shocked. Huh. What nation? What nation?
We're from Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam. Okay, good. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you. Vietnam, boy, is that, I mean, it's Vietnam is communist. That's why they're wearing the star. And they have uniforms that are very similar to China. They look very similar. But so I was kind of surprised about that. Vietnam was there, but I don't think they laid a wreath, which would be something that they would have problem with because of the Vietnam War. But, you know, anyway, very interesting. And here's another, you know, person. You know, I do have an interest in, like, especially the Pacific region, the relation, well, also Eastern Europe, you know, and the relationships between the different nations. I find that very interesting. And there's quite a few Vietnam here. And, you know, the veterans who fought in the Vietnam War would probably not be too happy to have to talk to Vietnamese government of Vietnam, I would imagine. That would be a tricky one. Very interesting. It's interesting because they don't, a lot of times they don't put down the country. Of course, it could be written in a different written script, so you can't really understand it, but very interesting. Bengal. Bengal is a country. I see one there. It says Bengal.
Hey, BCSS, grab a water. Come grab a water. Come on.
That one,
Grab a water. Take it back.
I have no idea.
Bring it down. Hey.
So it's going to be a long wait. And pretty much there's just a few of the flag officers, that means generals here, and the rest of them have left, which they probably have other activities to go to, maybe at their bases, or they want to spend time with their family. But interesting. It's interesting because when I said to General Flynn, 4-star general, his brother is Michael Flynn, lieutenant general, was served under Trump, and he had a lot of problems. You know, I told him I just thought he got a raw deal, and he kind of looked at me and smiled. You know, you don't really know his viewpoint on it. I think he supported his brother from what I could read in the public comments he made in the past, that he supported his brother. But, you know, he didn't say much about it. So it's reasonable. he has to be very careful politically speaking, you know. And yeah, unfortunately, there is no oh well, I just go buy another coffee cup. That's the way that works. And so very interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this time together that we had. I was able to show, here's where the wreaths are. I think it'd be good to show you how they did the wreath. You know, the wreaths are really about to the people who died here, fighting for our freedom or serving for our freedom. I think that's really important. And I've done that. I've done that for so many years, decades. And I hope someday, it was tough. It was really tough. And I was very fortunate. I didn't get, several times I came close to getting killed, and fortunate I didn't get killed, only by the grace of God. And now I get to enjoy the freedom that we have here in America. So I'm very blessed about that, you know, and very thankful for that. So let me do a little bit with the grave sites, if you don't mind, and then we'll call it a day on the video. And I have to figure out how to make the video private for 24 hours. And hopefully we can do that. So I'm going to do my best to solve that problem, because I was asked by a general to do that. So I've got to respect that. So here you go. I'm going to show you what we got here. And then we come down. And one thing I really appreciate here is, you know, the flags are flying, American flags, and they have down at the end, they have the big American flag, which is at half staff. That means to honor or to respect something that happened, or, you know, obviously it's about today, Memorial Day. But these are, you can see everyone has a lei, that the flower that you wear around your neck, and everyone has a flower. Isn't that a beautiful lei right there? And what I was told was that when they lay the leis on the grave sites, they say the name. The Boy Scouts and the public come here and does that somehow. Maybe the Girl Scouts, they come here and they lay the lei, or they put the flag in, and they say the name on the stone, so that the people are never forgotten. I think that is really cool. I mean, there's a lot of grave sites here, huge amount of grave sites, and every one of them has leis and flags on Memorial Day. That's one of the reasons why I want to be buried here, because I know for as long as America exists, which is basically until the return of Christ, we will have that happen here. And I believe America's always going to be a country that supports Christ in some way. And you know, we're having our difficulties now with what we believe in, but I believe that we still follow the Constitution, which is based upon the principle of Christ and the understanding. And here's another New York Combat Cargo Group. Almost everybody here is World War II, died in World War II in this section here. Can you imagine how many burials they had every day here during World War II? You know, it wasn't just like one burial. It must have been at least 10, 20, 30, who knows the number. But so many people died here that they must have just been nonstop. And then they also have, you know, earlier wars. Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson there, because when you do video with people, you really need to inform them in advance that you're doing a video, because then they know what to say. And they also, it's, and it protects certain information from going out. So I learned a lesson there, and hopefully I can do it in such a way that I can stop the video that I'm doing now. And I love this flag. This is surrounded by all the services flags here. The Marine, the Coast Guard, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. And as far as I know, those are maybe the Merchant Marines. I'm not sure if they're part of the military or not. I think they are, but I'm not positive on that. And so this is James Stiver, Indiana. He died June 17, 1944. He was in the Marines. Probably died on one of those attacks on those islands, and from Indiana. And what's interesting to me is that, when you come across something like this, probably they still have family and friends there, and, in Indiana. You just be interesting. You do a Google search on their name and then put in Indiana and see how many come up. Now this one is interesting. This is unknown. So that would be someone died in World War II, and their body was so decimated they couldn't identify them, and they had no dog tags. So they just brought what remains they had, and they brought it back and buried it unknown. So that's kind of amazing. I'm still looking here, and they have the state that they're from, every state. I'm looking here. Oh, here's one, Illinois, where I grew up for a part of my life. Venner Marines, March 1st, 1940. What year? 45. Pretty amazing. Thank you, Lord. Here's another Illinois. Jarrett, November 20th, 1943. He was 20 years old when he died. Can you imagine, like, you had, you're the parent or the brother and sister, and you get notification that your family member has died in some faraway place, usually an island in the middle of the Pacific, and you don't even know anything about it. But, everybody knew what they were fighting for. They were fighting for freedom for the world and for the people of that area. And they were willing to pay the ultimate price, which was death. Now, one thing that's interesting, I was here many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, right up on that area up there, and they actually had a burial going on up there. They had a 21 gun salute. They had an honor guard, and they were burying a person up there. And I thought that was really, they had the family members there. We parked right on that road and we watched a little bit. That was amazing. And then the thing that, I'm going to make a suggestion of, because I don't think there's a way to solve it, but they really need to honor the people here, because right now this is where I'm going to be buried, in a place like this. This is a crematorium where they put the ashes, because they don't take any bodies now, because the ground is full there. They have no room to put people. And they told me, they said they have no way to, like in Medal of Honor winner, I think they would bury people like that, but they have no way to bury people there. And they all get the leis and the flags, but these people get nothing. And, I know it would add a lot of people to a lot of work, but they also deserve to be remembered and to be talked about. And, when I die, I'm going to get that kind of a plaque of some kind, okay, put on and you can have your wife put in with you, if they want to be buried. These are couples. And here's one died 2017. And I've thought about it. I'm going to actually know what I'm going to put on it. Beloved husband, father, and grandfather. I'm kind of like thinking, okay, exactly what do the words that I want on it, you know, for myself. And you can see people have set flowers out. Probably family members have come and set flowers out. But it's not the same, really. You know, it's beautiful. And how would you put a lei and a flag for each one of these? I don't know, but I think that they need to do that, because they need to give the same amount of respect here for these people as they do the other people. You can see there was a flag there. And these are all empty ones that are waiting to be filled up. And what they told me, they said, this is all we have available. So I had to make a decision. Do I go to a different cemetery? They have several here on this island that they'll bury veterans, their entire body. They have some of them, but they're like not in areas that are so well known. And probably they don't have these kind of ceremonies going on like this. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and be cremated and put in those kind of places, as opposed to being put in a different cemetery, which is kind of remote. You know, everybody knows where this is, and my family members will know where to find me. So I think this is really cool. And pretty much that's it. Let's go up this way. You know, this is a very, very long video, but I wanted to give people the idea of what was happening here. You know, I plan to do it every year, to do one, and that's my plan. Okay, so here you go. We're just going up I love the flags. And these are not, the flags here are not put out year round. They're only given out on Memorial Day. And I don't think they take them back. I think they leave them on them. I'm not sure on that. So like, they may take them back and then just do it every Memorial Day. Because this would be a lot of flags they would have to get every year and source. Not sure what they do, to be honest. Let's see another one. Okay, I'm always looking for states that I have close relationships with, so I can kind of say, oh yeah, here's one from, you know, a state that I am from. Okay, here's Illinois. Caldwell, Cecil Caldwell, 1944. Marines. I actually know some Caldwell in Illinois. Are they related? Maybe. No. Wonder if there are any Krafts here. That'd be a good question. They have a place you can go over where the office is, and like it's like computerized for every person. It tells where the location of the grave is. You can type in the name, and it will pull up, you know, the location of the grave, the information. So that's pretty cool, I would say. I'm looking for another state that I had close relationships with. Isn't it beautiful? So I get to, here's Ohio, 1943. All these are like World War II. Gosh, you know, you don't realize how many people suffered and sacrificed, especially World War II. It was so many. And it was not like they were fighting for the land of the U.S. Well, Pearl Harbor, you could say, you know, but they were in other countries fighting. So really quite an amazing thing. So here's Indiana, June 27, 1944. Indiana, two Indianas buried right next to each other. April 7th, 1945. When we get up to where the podium is, I'm going to stop the video because it's been a long video, and not everybody's going to watch it the whole time, but I'm going to have to look at how to make the video setting private. Missouri, Kelly, close to where I grew up. I have relatives in that state. Ordnance Department. That's interesting. They put actually what his job was. Private Ordnance Department. I'm not sure. That could be a flamethrower, maybe. There's in Illinois. The saddest thing is that this was right at the end of World War II, April 12, 1945. So it's such a life that was thinking, oh, the war's going to be over very soon, and then they end up dying. Here's unknown Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. The remains were so damaged, or there were hardly any remains, that they had no way to identify the person. So Illinois, Booth, Marines. Thankfully, Signal Corps. Thankfully, they respected them and they honored them. Now this is interesting. This is a veteran from Vietnam War. He was buried in 2019. So they were actually still burying people here in 2019. Doesn't say Medal of Honor on it, so I don't know how he got here, but he's buried here. So, Pennsylvania. Here's another unknown. Not even a place they died. December 7th, 1941, World War II. And that would be a year before Pearl Harbor. So I think Pearl Harbor is 1942. Exactly a year. Illinois boatman. Okay. So when we get to the end here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the video. To let people know what's going on here. Memorial Day 2022, a day to honor those who served and either in battle or out of battle. And very, very cool. The Royal Hawaiian Band. If you don't know anything about that, you should read up on it. It has an amazing history, a long history. The reason it's called Royal is because it was established during the reign of the Queen of Hawaii, which was back in like 1890 or something. So pretty amazing. And people are coming here and setting up. I'd love to take you up there to the statue, but I really don't want to take the time to go up the hill, and that will be another year, okay? We'll start up there and we'll go down. How's that sound? And then we'll look at the flags. So every flag there is from every state of the Union. Maybe Guam too, and places like that. Puerto Rico that are not states, but they're represented here. Because people here are buried from all over, not just one place. So very cool, I would say. And I wonder what they do with the wreaths here. Hopefully they keep them out, and they, so we're good. Thankfully, everything is good. And I'm gonna have a seat somewhere, and then I'm just gonna do the video. I'm gonna say thank you for the video. I'm gonna do it like this. This is Bob Kraft in Hawaii at the National Cemetery Memorial of the Pacific. I think that National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. And thank you for the activity today. It's been a very enjoyable time. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Almost a 2-hour video. That's the best I could do. So take care, everybody. See you later.